$1,000,000.
I'm Cooper Bentley.
Hey, I'm Bentley Havens.
You're watching Out the Top.
And you're watching Out the Top.
You're watching Out the Top.
Look at that rock light coming out the top.
Hey guys, back in the Rock Life studio. A day late this week. Had some bad weather roll in here last night. Kept losing electricity and interwebs, so we didn't even really attempt it. But we're back tonight. Bryant Dunnigan in the Rock Life studio. Back again is driver of the world famous full body this weekend, Mr. Dan Carter. What's up?
What's happening?
Been trying to get ready for this stinking race.
Oh man, I know the feeling. It's like one step forward, two steps back.
It's been an interesting week, to say the least. And we'll get into that in a minute. But guys, once again, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening, viewing, subscribing, following, rating, reviewing. Leave us some comments. Appreciate everybody that's still here. And last week was one of our most viewed episodes on YouTube for some reason. So we're still on the up, and we want to keep going that way. So tell your friends. And today's going to be a good one. But also, we do have memberships available, and the membership packages start at $6.99, $7.99. And we've got a couple different levels, some perks that go along with that. And this week at Windrock Offroad, anybody who signs up to be a member, I'm going to send you one of our brand new Windrock Offroad magnetic koozies for free. So basically, you are getting your membership for free. We have our brand new printed koozies with the blue buggy on it. Got them, and everybody's been asking for these for a couple of years now, and I've not done it. But we do have the slim can koozies now. We'll be debuting them this weekend at Windrock at the event. So we've got all kinds of them that we're going to have at the event. Stop by the vendor trailer. And if you can't make it to the race this weekend, get on rocklifeoffroad.com and get you some of those. But like I said, if you sign up through this week, if you sign up as a new member, you're going to get one of those sent to you free of charge. So get on there and get those while you can. All right, now let's get into the race, I guess. The live feed for the drawings was this weekend, and that's when we find out, for you people who don't know, find out who all has entered, how many entries we have. It's always kind of intriguing to know, especially the first event of the year, how many people have been cooped up all winter and are ready to come play.
Right.
Looks like we had a good car count.
Oh man, yeah. There's some of those classes like I never would have believed there's so many people in them.
The stock class always does really well at Windrock. Bouncer class I think had 20 entries or so. Of course, I know a few of those are not going to be able to, buggies didn't get finished and stuff. So we're going to have 18 to 20 big bouncers. Bounty class had, I think, 8 or 10. The Friday UTV classes are going to be loaded.
Oh yeah, they're packed out.
They're packed. So Friday is going to be, it could be another one of those long Fridays.
Oh yeah.
So if you get to come, get the weekend package, show up on Friday, don't miss out on the UTV race. And that's going to be pretty cool. Debuting the new Wonder Buggy 2.0.3. I don't know what you want to call it. It's not red anymore, but it does kind of look like the Wonder Buggy-ish. Has some original bars in it. We talked about getting that thing back out at some point last year, talking about rehabbing it, refinishing it. Got that done. It's going to be there racing. I'm glad to have it out of my shop.
Oh, for sure, man. It's crazy how much like you can accumulate over a race season.
Yeah.
And then it's just there. And it's like my shop, like used to, man, you could like, I mean, so many activities in my shop. Anything you want to do. Like, man, we had chair races. We rode one wheels around, mini bikes, pit bikes, like racing them all in the shop. And then it's like race season's here. It's like just a thrown up mess of Polaris parts everywhere.
Well, when you're building these buggies, I have a pretty good size shop at work, and we've got room. The only thing is that building wasn't built for what it is.
Right.
So, like, I've got room, but nothing fits, if that makes sense. So we really don't have that many bays to work on units. And when you're building one of these chassis, it takes up, 2 to 3 bays.
Right.
Because you've got a pile of parts here, stack of tires here, you've got your machine, toolboxes, everything's sitting around it. And so it takes up 2 or 3 bays. So anyways, it's been like that at the shop for the last month. We got it back. No, it's been longer than that. We got the frame back. I don't know. I don't remember. Before the first of the year. Assembled it. Sent it out with Braden to go get some testing done to make sure all of our bright ideas were going to work and things were not binding up and had clearances everywhere. And so anyways, he went and tested it for a weekend. Absolutely destroyed it, did. Brought it back. We disassembled it again, sent it out to powder, brought it back again, put it all back together, got the wrap on, and he got to drive it for the first time yesterday. So it's going to be fun watching him. Like, I was nervous last year when you broke out the blue buggy with no seat time.
Oh yeah.
But I was nervous not because of you, just the buggy, just initial assembly, very little seat time, and not even the seat time, just the very little time on the machine to make sure everything's, boys, it's so easy to leave a bolt loose.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You can bolt check and do all you want. It's so easy to miss something. So like when you were racing, I wasn't so nervous about you because you are a veteran. You have raced a ton. So like, you're fine. But did we put it together right?
Oh yeah.
That's the big thing. And like with Braden, I'm nervous on both senses. He's never raced a chassis. And he helped put it together. So I don't know which is worse.
Yeah, no, I'm sure everything will work out just fine.
So if an A-arm falls off of it this weekend, that's the bolt Braden tightened up.
There you go.
Yeah. So anyways, it'll be a good time. We always talk highly of Windrock. It is a great place to come ride and a great place to come watch some racing. So we're excited about that. We're going to start Friday at, I think, about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Saturday at 9. So, guys, if you can't make it, it will be on Rock Racing TV. So make sure and check that out this weekend. But okay, so we've got this new bouncer class, right? The limited or whatever they're wanting to call it. I don't even know what the real name of it is. And that was brought back because we had a lot of people saying, I say brought back, it was a new series brought in because people were saying it had gotten too far removed from the average person being able to come build a bouncer and race.
Right.
And leading up into the race, I've noticed a bunch of the media outlets posting yesteryear videos.
Yeah.
Like about the glory days, I guess, of rock
Yeah.
bouncing.
Yeah, like the old school
So,
rock bouncing.
I'm going to ask you, when you see videos like that and people say the glory days, like, why is it the glory days?
Man, I think it just has to go back to the non-racing scenario of just being able to go out, hit hills, have a good time, and it not be a competition. I think that's what some of these guys are considering the glory days. Is everybody going to uh, like Grey Rock and just showing out and having a good time, putting on shows for the spectators, stuff like that.
That is a big part of it, and that's how it got started, obviously. But to me, when they are talking about specifically the racing, there was some old fashioned beatdowns back then.
Right.
And that's cool. But as the years have passed, technology's gotten better, the machines have gotten better. And it's getting, I feel it's still growing, still getting bigger.
Right.
So, we've talked about this a couple times too. The struggle is finding a happy medium of a hill.
Right.
You want it to be really hard and you want it to be exciting, but you also need it to be doable.
Right.
Because, we still do have yesteryear buggies running, and we have new machines that are full blown race cars.
Right.
And these new machines, what the glory days of rock bouncing was, these new machines would eat that up.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't even look cool. So I think that's where some of the problem is. The machines have advanced so far that it's hard to find that yesteryear look because they soak up so much, I guess.
Right.
There was a video of Bobby Tanner just absolutely getting on Screaming Blue the other day.
Right.
That was a yesteryear moment for me. But let's face it, Blue's tough. But Blue's an old, outdated buggy.
Right.
Like, it looks cool, but he's not going to win nothing in it.
Right.
And so it's kind of, I don't know, what do you want to see? So we've got this new class that is designed to try and bring some of that back. And we got the 3 entries.
Yeah, that's a little disheartening.
Well, for years, that's all everybody's talked about is we need to get back to rock bouncing. We need to get back to old school. And then we do that and we've got 3 entries.
Right. And I feel too that there's some of the guys running the unlimited class that really should take advantage of this new limited class because their buggies are more built for the limited class. And I understand some of them want to run the cup, and this limited class is not a cup. So, it's 100% payback. So I don't know. I think that's where the mindset of some of those guys are. And I think it would be a better show if some of those guys were to kind of drop back and fall in this limited class. But, man, who knows?
I don't think it hurts anything. If you're a guy that is running the big bouncer class and your machine qualifies for the underclass, you've not been on a podium in 2 or 3 years or longer, drop down.
Yeah, especially this is your chance to get a top 5.
It's your chance to get a top 5 or a bring home a trophy when you haven't had one in 2 or 3 years.
Right.
And people can say what they want. Oh, I want to run with the big dogs. I want to do this. I want to do that. That's all great and fine. But I'm here to tell you, getting a trophy, regardless of field size, will put a little life back in you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
It'll
you're
make
right.
it a little more exciting again.
That's right.
So the guys that did drop down, I applaud them because they understand their situation. And, you know, I always go back to roundy round racing, and there's some guys that ran, like Cup Series NASCAR stuff, didn't do no good, you know, wasn't in the right cars, dropped down a series or two, went down there, got in some good machines, won some races, got some trophies, worked their way back up, and are winning races now in the upper tier. So it's not a knock. You're better off, I feel like, getting that trophy than not.
Right.
So there's a couple guys I'd like to see down there. I think it would do them good. And not a knock on them at all. It's purely machine based.
Right.
You know, that class has a chance to bring back that yesteryear beat down feel. I feel like, let's just get some guys out there. I mean, everybody's been wanting it. It's
That's
here.
right.
Come get it. Listen, the other thing is hill placement. It's hard to find, you know, those glory day videos. A lot of them are 2 miles back in the woods. That's hard to do anymore.
Right.
For a couple different reasons. I mean, you take a case where we have a bad wreck, or God forbid, a fire or something like that far out in the woods, and we've got to try and get somebody out quick.
Right.
Outside of all the other facts of getting vendors, food vendors, the crowd, getting everybody in a safe position for the event, you know, never mind any of that. What happens if we have to get somebody out of there quick?
Right.
So that's hard to do. And I think they do a good job at picking the hills and building these event areas at some of the parks we go to, so we can have, you know, bigger crowds, better crowds. And I don't know. I see all these videos of days gone by, and sometimes it makes me feel like they're knocking on what we're doing now, and it is different. It's different now than what it was then, but I think it's different good.
Right.
But I look at it from the competition end, I guess, so much as the show end. I don't know. There's my rant on that. Speaking of rants, okay. The one thing we typically don't have is, and I think this is why I get excited when we do have it. The one thing we typically don't have is, and we've talked about this with the new bouncer class, you know, the rules. They want to be able to walk up to your machine, glance at it, legal, not legal.
Right.
There shouldn't be a bunch of rules.
Right. Cut and
And
dry.
we've always been that way. It's always been pretty simple to tech everything, I guess you could say, if there even is a tech. But the only class where we have a lot of rules, or any rules actually, really, is you know, our youth class is a stock class, and you know, the bad part is they want that class that was always been, especially the first year or two, it was stock, like stock.
Right. Right.
Like
No tuning, no ECU
nothing,
modifications, 100% stock.
nothing, stock. And even in that class, we had people cheating within the first 3 weeks of the race series.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know. I sold them the tuners. I'll name names. I don't care. Like, so when you have rules, you're going to have people bending the rules. And the only other class is like the UTV stock class, and I'm assuming this new teen amateur class is supposed to follow the UTV stock class rule set. So we've got word on the street is there's been some people complaining about some machines in the stock class.
It's not even the first race yet.
Not even the first race yet. Not even the first race yet. Now, I've only known of a couple machines, I think, that have been told no for the stock class.
Right.
One of them is my buddy from around the way, Tony Clifton. He's got a Razor that runs U4. It's a stock Pro XP. The only difference is it has got welded up doors, and for whatever reason he took the dash out and made a dash.
Right.
Well, he couldn't race because he didn't have a dash. They teched him out for that.
Right. And I've heard similar stories about that too.
Yeah. So like there's that one, and there's been a few along the ways like that. But the machine in question here is a machine that raced all year last year. And it's basically the same machine.
Right.
And I could be way off on this deal. I could not have all the information. So this is all allegedly. Allegedly, this car has been protested because it doesn't have rocker panels. Well, it didn't have rocker panels all year last year. And as far as I know, and like I said, could be wrong. As far as I know, it meets all the rules other than not having rocker panels. Or it did last year. So what's the difference?
Right. Yeah, I get it.
And then we're a week from race season, and now it's a problem. So that's my other thing. Like now it's a problem. We're a few days away, and we're not legal on a car that did really well last year.
Right.
So I was talking to the driver in question, and even myself, I was uncertain on the rules. I thought the rules said that you had to have the front plastics. And I swear, I still think that's what it said at some point. But now the rules state you have to have front and side plastics. I don't know if that changed somewhere along the way or if that's what it's been. But nevertheless, here we are. And two gripes I've got with this. So I'm going to say this rule was in place last year. I don't know as it was. Didn't really care to look. If this rule was in place last year and that machine raced all year last year, unless there has been a rules update, that machine should be legal this year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, if there's been a rules update, I feel like anytime there's an actual rules update, it needs to be said that there's a rules update. It don't just need to be posted in the back corners of the interwebs, and we're supposed to go seek it out.
Right.
Like if there's a rules update the people. But back on the rule in question, I'm going to read the rule. The rule says all front and side plastics must remain. Bed deletes are allowed. Okay, let's break this down just a little bit. All front and side plastics must remain. First of all, where should they remain? Like if we're going to have rules, we're going to follow rules. I need to know where they can remain. Can they remain in my trailer?
Right.
Can they remain zip tied to the roof? I mean, I'm asking questions. I mean,
Well, like, what does that, like, what all does that mean? Like,
What does that
front
mean?
and side. Okay, so side plastics, we've got the front fender, side fender, rocker panel, door panel.
Oh, don't forget they got fender flares.
Yeah, fender
That's
flares
on the
front and
side.
rear.
That's on the side.
And then bed delete has to do with the bed, but you've still got a fender and a fender flare.
Yes.
So if that's the case, then 99% of the machines that are running the stock class don't meet that rule. So, I mean, I understand, like, if we're going to stick to the rules, we need to stick to the rules, but, that's going to count me out for this weekend.
Well, that's going to count out 99% of people. My thing is all front and side plastics must remain.
Yeah.
If we're going to go by the rules, I need to know the definition of this rule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why does he have to have a rocker but no rear fender?
Right.
Why is the rocker more important than the fender flare? Why is there no doors? Like, what does this mean? This needs to be clarified. What does this mean? Because, listen, we got guys in the stock class, and I'm going to say this out loud. We got guys in the stock class running hydraulic steering, and we're bitching about a rocker panel.
Right.
For fuck's sake, guys. I don't know who the crybaby tattletale is on this, but you need to take your big ass on back to the house. I'm fired up about this. Over a rocker panel. I just don't get it. So, at the driver's meeting for the stock class, I recommended that said driver protest everyone and see how they like it. Because if we're going to follow the rules, I want to be the tech guy. Let me tech them.
Change it to unlimited stock class.
Let me tech them. Because if I'm teching them and I'm going by these rules, if you got steel doors, you're out. If you got a hole in your fender flare, you're out. Because if you got a hole, all your plastics ain't there, buddy. So what are the rules? Let's get this cleared up. And I'm all for good competition. I want everybody to succeed. I want it to be fast, so we will be fast. And if there's something else going on, if there's an underlying issue with this deal, then let's talk about that. Let's not talk about rocker panels. Like, come on. I just don't get it. I've got hot. I'm getting my blood pressure. The thing nobody wants to play with me is the rules game. Because for 5 years, during my college years and right after college, I was a high school varsity baseball umpire. I've coached sports, up until from the time I was in middle school up until recently. And one of the major roles in that is studying and manipulating rules.
Right.
So if I'm reading this rule, all front and side plastics must remain. If I'm reading that rule as a race car team owner, I can do anything I want. Anything I want with those plastics. I can put them anywhere I want. I can leave them at the house. I can put them in the trailer. I can throw them in the dump pile because that is where they will remain. That's the way the rules say. Must maintain OEM chassis. Okay, I get that. Don't cut nothing out of the chassis. Yeah. Don't cut nothing out of the chassis. I get that. Gusseting and cage upgrades are allowed for safety. Okay, doesn't say nothing about doors. So what do you do for doors? Upgraded suspension and driveline components are allowed. Well, I mean, that's whatever. That's wide open. That's all 4 of these rules, other than the maintain OEM chassis. And I could even make an argument for that rule.
Yeah, I mean, if you get nitpicky on it, like what you break into driveline, drivetrain.
Mm-hmm.
So
I could get nitpicky with that one.
We could really technically, per the rules, put a fucking 350 V8 in there.
Well, there's nothing. That I don't see. There's nothing in this rule package. Let me back up. I'm going to look at the overall UTV rules. There's safety, yada 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 yada, legal jargon. I don't see any like overall UTV rules. Rock bouncer. Safety requirements. Like I'm not seeing. There's more rules for the UTV youth class than there is anything.
Right.
Dispute, safety rules. Yeah, I don't see anything. So we were denied. We wanted to build a Ranger. We talked a couple years ago and we're like, the stock class is fun for us. It's fun.
Right. Yeah.
So let's build something fun. So we were going to build a Ranger-based machine, use the Ranger chassis, add some bracing in it. We were going to keep the front fenders and door skins and even put a bed back on it. But we did want to run a turbo Razor engine.
Right.
We were denied. We were denied because that engine didn't come with that machine.
Right.
It's not in the rules.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, we could go back to that idea.
It's not in the rules. So now we can do that, I guess. We want to build a Ranger.
As long as it's got rocker panels on it.
And evidently, as long as it's got rocker panels, guys, you can do whatever you want. Just make sure those are there. I don't know.
Or they remain.
Make sure they remain. Blood pressure. But anywho, if you're the person who started this over a set of rocker panels, I really wish you'd just stay home this weekend. It'd make me feel better. But if you'd like to come have a discussion about the rules at the Rock Life trailer, even though I have nothing to do with the officiating of that class, I have a lot of opinions, and I'll tell them. And I feel like I'm a pretty good partner of that class, have been for the last several years. So I will voice them, whether they need to or want to be heard or not. I really don't care. But I will voice them. And let's not turn this into a mess. Let's all go race and have fun. And before we bitch about rocker panels, let's fuss about these basic tube chassis machines that are in the class, these hydraulic steering machines that's in the class. Let's worry about that stuff before we worry about a set of rocker panels. Anyhow, that's enough about that. Unless you got something you want to add.
I'm good. I already feel like I'm going to get jumped and mugged.
Well, I told Paige.
Point in time over the weekend.
I told Ma.
It's like, I was the one fucking talking about the rocker panels, you son of a bitch, and just,
I'm going to bring a rocker panel with me. And I'm going to come to the driver's meeting and carry it. Be like, anybody need this? Anybody need this so they can race? that would be pretty funny. I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just showed up with it.
Yeah, just or like selling rocker panels at the Rock Life booth, selling rocker panels.
I'm
to
going to
all
bring
stock guys.
every busted ass rocker panel I've got at the shop is going in the trailer tomorrow. Yes. And I'm going to just lay 'em.
Everybody's got to have these.
Y'all just remain them, zip tie them in the passenger seat. That way they remain buckled in, and just pass them to the next guy.
Yeah. The next thing is going to be like, there is no sharing of rocker panels.
Yeah. That's the next rule.
Yeah.
No, you got to have your own rocker panels, guys. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, your rocker panel must remain. Your rocker panels must remain.
They're gonna number them now. You're gonna have to put air tags on them so they know who's this who's.
Yeah. Hey, my geez.
It's
all fun and games, and then like we need to keep the fun in it. That's what it's all about, you know.
It is, and I think that's why I was getting frustrated because come on.
Yeah, it's like when you start throwing rules at stuff, and man, yeah, and it's like, you know, some people are like, oh, I got sponsors, I got to make happy, and it's like, hey, if your sponsors knew that you was whining about rocker panels, they would probably not be happy about it, you know, because all my sponsors are great, and that's all they ever say is, man, just go out there and have a good time.
Yes.
You know, that's all they care about is having a good time. And I feel like that's the way to look at it and the way to be.
That is. It is. It's all for fun, and it needs to remain fun.
Right.
And because when we start this nitpicking stuff, I get it. I mean, if somebody's out and right cheating, and we know if they are or if they aren't, like, come on. If they're cheating, they're cheating. If it's something minor like that, let it be.
Right.
It's not that big a deal. Because that's when it starts sucking the fun out of it. And listen, this ain't no joke. What we're doing, them rocker panels, and I'm not trying to make a joke. They're $200 a piece. And
yeah,
you know, they're the first things to get beat off of a razor.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess got to get you a plastic welder. I don't know. I just want it to be fun. Just be fun.
That's right.
And you know, something else that I kind of want to touch on before we head to the end here. I had a couple people message me today that let me back up. I've had a couple people message or call me in the last couple months, people that I don't normally talk to. Not that I don't talk to them. It's not people that I have phone conversations with, or not people I text back and forth with. If I see them out, I'll speak, I'll talk. We're friendly, but we're not buddies. And I've had a couple people call me, and I've noticed that, like, I even went back through some messages. I've noticed, like, the last few times that I've talked to these people, it's not, hey, how you doing? What's up? It's, hey, I need this. Can you get it for me? And can you get it for free?
Oh.
And I'm just going to put this out there in the universe, since I'm on a rant kind of mode today. If that is your purpose for contacting us, just don't. Just quit. Just stop.
Yeah, that gets aggravating, because it's like being self-employed. You can't take that, man, hey, I appreciate it, or the pat on the back. That don't pay my mortgage, and
No.
I can't take that to the bank.
No. And it's not even that. I've always been open, and I've always said I will help people that are racing because I know it's expensive. And when I say I'll help you if you're racing, because I know it's expensive. You know, I'm not going to be handing out free stuff to everybody. As a business owner, I'll give you, you know, a discount on the parts. I'll help you get it. I'll even help you put it on if I need to.
Right.
You need something in a pinch, and we're at the races. And I got it in the trailer. Man, come get it. Pay me whenever you get time. Not a big deal. Like, I'm there to support and help everybody. But if your sole purpose of contacting me, is to be a beggar, please just stop. It's old. Especially when there's nothing, and I know there's nothing in return.
Right.
Like, it's not even a pitch. It's like, hey man, can you listen? I had somebody call me and wanted something for free, and I said, you already have a sponsor that's the same as me. Why don't you call them?
Right.
And the response I got was, oh, they've already given me too much. I didn't want to ask them for anything else.
Man,
Like,
offer to buy it, because that's what I do.
yeah.
I mean, that's like, man, I'll be honest, like, you take really good care of me, but, you know, that's always just been my thing. Like, I can't stand to be given stuff, and like, I want to earn your business. And,
Well, and that's part of, that's, you know, and it's documented. That's part of our story.
Right.
You know, and that's how it came to be. But it's just, I don't know. I'm just in a mood today. F them all. I told my wife before I come out here to record, I said, we're going to Windrock this weekend. I may come home with 2 black eyes.
Gonna get beat down at Windrock.
Hey, that'll make for a hell of a show
Yeah.
on Tuesday.
Yeah.
No, it's just,
What,
it's hard to do. That is hard to do when you're trying to support a series and you're trying to support your own race car, and you're trying to run a business. And then every time somebody calls you, it's like, hey, can you get me this? And I go, well, yeah, let me get you a price. Well, I was hoping you'd get me one of them, you know, good deals. And I'm like, well, I'm not even going to worry with the price at this point. I told somebody today, I said, they're like, hey, I need a sponsor. And I was like, well, when you find one, send them to me when you get done with them.
right. Yeah.
Like, what do you think we're trying to do here?
Yeah. We all need all the help we can get.
We've talked about it on this show so much about sponsorships and things like that. And then to call me, of all people, to call me and be like, hey, can you give me this part for free?
Hey man, listen to our sponsorship episode, and
you
then
should
call me back.
go listen to some of the business of rock bouncing. Oh, it's a mess. What a world we live in.
That's right.
Anyhow, if you've made it this far, I think I'm done before I really make you people mad. If you've made it this far in the show, listen, we got a new segment coming up. We're going to get back to our on the top, out the hook next week. So we'll have that segment coming back for every NRRA race, and we've got a new segment we're going to be doing. It is like a random or forgotten driver from the past. So what we're going to do, we'll take suggestions. If you guys yourself, if you would like to be featured on the show,
Yeah.
and when I say featured, you can come on and talk to us for a few minutes, or you can just shoot us some information about yourself. You know, if you're one of those guys that maybe everybody doesn't know, or you haven't raced in 4 or 5 years, or you only come out and raced one time, we're going to try and do at least once a month, maybe more often, maybe not. We're going to start trying to do a little segment on a random NRA driver.
Right. Like a where are they now type
Yeah.
deal. I'm excited about that because, man, I've got so many that I'm like, man, whatever happened to this guy or that girl or what, what are they doing now?
Well, you think about, who was a full-time racer with us and not just him, the whole family,
Right.
the Rogers bunch out of
Yeah.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. What are they up to?
And it's
What
cool.
about, we
Like,
used to have all those RSC guys.
yeah.
Where are some of those guys at now that's racing? Where is Stacy Wilhoy? Where is Jamie Coldiron? Where is Jonathan Shepard? He's not been racing recently.
Right.
Anybody that hasn't been active in the last little bit.
Well, and like I keep up with a lot of these guys and gals, and it's cool to say, man, hey, I know those people, or man, these guys are really good fabricators, or these, I know what they're up to, but like I feel like everybody else is missing out because just all those people you miss, or you mentioned that the sport's missing right now. They all played a part in where the sport is now.
Yeah.
And it's almost as important as the business of rock bouncing. In my eyes,
It is.
It's important to say, well, why do we do things the way we do things now? Well, there may be a driver that, sort of orchestrated the way things are now. So I think it's important. I think it's going to be a cool segment.
Yeah, it'll be fun, and there'll be some names on there that you guys know, and there may be somebody on there at some point that nobody remembers at all, because I'm liable to just go down the results sheets from years ago and just pick somebody I've never heard of or a name I don't remember and try and do some research on my own of that person, of what at the very least where they're from, what they raced,
Right.
Things like that. So that's coming. We're going to try and start that here in the next week or two. So if you've got any suggestions, or anybody that, like I said, anybody that wants to come on and do a segment with us, and when I say a segment, it doesn't have to be a whole episode. It can be a 5 or 10 minute, hey, how you doing, how you been kind of deal.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you don't want to come on, we'll just get on here and you let us talk about you, and it's untelling what we'll say.
Yeah, we'll make up all kind of good stuff.
Absolutely. Guys, see everybody at Windrock this weekend. Make sure to bring your rocker panels with you. Blue buggy's ready to go.
Wait.
It is loaded in the trailer. So I hope you're ready to go get us a trophy.
Oh yeah.
Don't sound so confident.
Oh no, we're there. We're manifesting it. We're gonna what's the old saying? It's gonna skinny peddler Jesus.
Yeah. I'm not lifting until I see the checkered flag of Jesus.
That's it.
Yeah. Let's
hope. If nothing else, everybody's gonna know that we've been there.
Absolutely. All right, guys. We'll see everybody this weekend at Windrock Park, and then we will be back next week for our post-race show. Hopefully, I don't have to wear sunglasses. All right. Bye.
See you guys.